You're What up, YouTube? This is Wabi, and this is the Politically Correct Show. And today I'm gonna talk about first. I'm gonna talk about Tony Romo and his DOI. Um, what can I say? It's a shame that Tony Romo ended up drinking and driving and got caught up. Um, I don't think that's worth firing somebody for, especially somebody who does a really good job. Like, it's not like it's Jason Witten. Like Jason Witten, to me, wasn't really a good sports analyst, so I understood why they let him go. But Tony Romo, for one, he's been broadcasting football games for a number of years now. I would say like good 6 or 7, right? Maybe even 8. So, you gotta take in part when when you're an employee, you take pride in the fact that you've been at a company for so long, especially in the prestigious job that Tony Romo once held. You know, you would think there would be some type of animosity when it comes to, or some type of compassion when it comes to his situation. I mean, it's just a DOI, you know what I'm saying? And I understand, you're a company, you got company values, and he's like the face of your company in a way every Sunday. So you can't have a story like this go on and stuff, but it's just like one offense. Like, suspend him for like half of the year, maybe suspend him for the whole year, but to completely fire him and then replace him in a matter of a day or two is like, to me, I think that's a little crazy to me. Like, I think it was Mark Sanchez who was in a similar situation. Well, probably damn near the same exact situation. But even with him, the difference between him and Tony Romo is, for one, Tony Romo was good at his job. For two, he stayed there way longer than Mark Sanchez was. And then, for three, you know what I'm saying? Tony Romo has a lot of credibility even before he even had the job. So it's like, I just feel like they just gave Tony Romo, they should have gave Tony Romo a little more leeway as far as, like, they shouldn't even fired Mark Sanchez for real. But Mark Sanchez wasn't really a promised asset quite yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't a promised asset. Like, he was a project to be made, and no one knew how good he was gonna do. And then he fucked it up. And even though they shouldn't have fired him, you can understand why they fired him. But Tony Romo, you could have suspended his job and suspended his pay for like a year or something. But instead, they just kicked him out the door and then replaced him with J.J. Watt. And I'm not sure if J.J. Watt has the demeanor and the personality and the voice to fill in for Tony Romo. Now, I know he has the brain, the mind, the knowledge, because he was like one of the best defensive players of like my generation. He's like top 5. And his brother is also top 5 of another generation. You know what I'm saying? So you understand in the family that they all have the knowledge. And plus, not only that, but he's been an analyst as well for a little while now. Probably good 3 or 4 years now. Well, probably 2 or 3. But either way, he's been in the field, so he deserves the job. But I'm just not sure if his demeanor is going to. I'm not sure if his demeanor is going to amuse us and keep us engaged as much as they do, because people like to say, oh well, the analysts talk too much. Well, that's their job, is to talk during the game. That's their job. And some people enjoy it and some people don't. Like, older people enjoy it, I would say, than younger people. But it's either you enjoy it or you don't. But that's their job. That's what they get paid to do, is to talk during the game. So I'm not going to say, oh, he's going to talk too much or anything, but, I'm not sure if he's going to mix well with the viewership. I think Tony Romo, even though he gained a little bit of criticism for lacking at the end and declining at the end, you know what I'm saying? But I think he had a good mix of reviews. He had a lot of critics, but he had a lot of people who say that he's been the best commentator since John Madden, since John the Legend Madden. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a horrible loss for football, but at the end of the day, that's what happens when you make that decision. You lose a lot. You never know what you're gonna lose, so you just gotta make sure that you do the right things at the right time, because we're grown out here. We're too old to be getting DUIs. Especially, I don't understand how these rich people get DUIs. And like, you're rich, like, you could be paying for somebody to drive you. Instead, you're driving yourself. Don't make no sense to me. But either way, regardless, Debo Samuel, my guy. I have him on my fantasy football teams usually every year. I usually have him on my team. He's back with the 49ers. I mean, I was just like, man, who is he going to go to? Because I knew he was going to go to somewhere, because, when he was on my fantasy football team and when I was watching him personally, he was like a little bit of a light with the dim season that the Commanders had. And then they just let him go, and I never understood why they let him go, which, I mean, probably because of the injuries and, the way he plays with him aging, but he's still a good asset, and I don't think the 49ers got him for too much neither. So they probably didn't have to get him for too much neither. So I don't know why the Commanders didn't stick with him, but, Debo Samuels and the Kyle Shanahan offense, I mean, it's always been a match made in heaven. You got Mike Evans on the other side. That rookie guy is gonna be hurt, but if they get not this season, but the next season after this going well, he'll be back. Christian McCaffrey's still a monster when he's healthy. Defense is still pretty good. 49ers looking pretty good right now. As long as they keep Brock Purdy, which they are, because they had signed him not too long. Yeah, signed him like, what is it, a season or two ago to a long deal, so they have him. I won't say that they're my favorites or anything, but in that division, they're going to give definitely the Seahawks a run for their money. So, with that in mind, God bless you, God bless First State, and God bless America. It's Wabi. We out.